Good evening, and thanks for keeping a date with us on the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, a program that keeps you informed on what you need to know about Nigeria's agricultural sector and the effort of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security towards harnessing the agricultural potentials of the country. I am Gabriel Ojila, your regular host. To achieve a hunger-free Nigeria through an agricultural sector that drives income growth, accelerates food and nutritional security, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security works with states to realize and harness their agricultural potentials in order to boost agricultural production and generate employment. Tonight, Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria will focus on one such state, Jigawa State. We shall examine its agricultural potentials and what the state government is doing to complement the efforts of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Keep watching.
Every part of Nigeria has something to offer.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned. The program kicks off with news from the diary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. In our lineup tonight, Agri Minister tasks seed entrepreneur on quality seeds. Also, Nigerians celebrate World Agri-Tourism Day. These and other stories will come your way shortly after this short break.
Headquarters of the ministry.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, has tasked agricultural seed entrepreneurs in the country to ensure good agricultural practices in seed multiplication for farmers. Senator Kyari made the appeal when officials of the Seed Entrepreneurs Association of Nigeria paid him a courtesy call in his office in Abuja. The minister noted that notwithstanding the size of seeds, if its quality is not good, it can jeopardize every other effort put in place to ensure food security in the country. He tasked the association to work hard to ensure availability of seeds that are high-yielding, drought-tolerant, among other qualities.
I've always been also an advocate of good seeds, because for whatever you do, whatever interventions, whatever programs that you do, once you don't have the good seed, that little thing that you're talking about, then you are doomed.
Also speaking during the visit, the Chairman Seed Entrepreneurs Association of Nigeria, Yusuf Ado Kibiya, appreciated the minister for carrying the seed entrepreneurs along in policies and programs of government and promised that members of the association would support the implementation of government policies and programs to ensure food security in Nigeria.
For the first time, we have a minister who listened to us, and not only listen to us, we've been involved in decision making. We've been invited several times to come here, and I think it's a development that has now happened for the last 11 years. So we thank you so much for the engagement, and we continue to assure you the seed industry will be sanitized. We will do our best to provide the best quality seeds, and we will support your programs.
Nigerians joined the rest of the world on the 16th of May 2024 to celebrate the World Agri-Tourism Day. The event, which took place at the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria in Mabushi area of Abuja, had in attendance the Minister of State, Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, President, World Agri-Tourism Organization, representative of the Minister of Tourism, directors of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, development partners, among other dignitaries.
Most of these stakeholder groups.
Speaking during the occasion, the Minister of State, Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, stated that agri-tourism promotes insight in agriculture, creates jobs, and increase income for farmers. He added that the ministry, in collaboration with other ministries, would support the development of agri-tourism concepts in Nigeria by creating an enabling environment.
The model will be federal government enabled but private sector-led agri-tourism development in Nigeria. Because when you do that, you will be creating a more sustainable system that will ensure that everybody does what is supposed to be done, while we keep our eyes on the standards, on the regulations that will come along with it. I have no doubt that this occasion will spur ample opportunities to strengthen the agribusiness sector and promote agricultural, tourism, and market development, which will ultimately contribute to the 8-point agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Today, stand out.
Speaking earlier, the President, World Agri-Tourism Organization Ambassador Trust Ogboyi, stated that the initiative will promote food security and investment in agriculture.
What we are doing here today is the first in the history of Nigeria and the history of Africa to ensure food security, job creation, and investment.
Also speaking during the occasion, the Director, Agribusiness and Market Development, Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Adebiyi Adegbenro, appreciated the Minister of State for the role he played in studying the concept and ensuring that agritourism is included in the 2024 budget of the ministry. The Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security has started the distribution of farm inputs to farmers in the Federal Capital Territory and the 36 states of the Federation. The inputs distributed include liquid fertilizer, certified seeds, agrochemicals, sprayers, and power tillers. Speaking during the input distribution in Gwagwalada area of Abuja, the FCT coordinator of the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Amadu Zegi, stated that the input distribution to farmers is part of the federal government's poverty alleviation program and to ensure food security in the country. The FCT coordinator said that since the program started in the FCT, over 700 crops, livestock, and poultry farmers have benefited from the initiative. He urged the farmers to utilize the farm inputs given to them to ensure increase in their food production for their families and the nation at large.
We should not despise the little beginning. I want this cluster, that is Kilankwa, to make use of this little thing, giving free of charge to farmers, to selected farmers in the coastal community of Kwali Area Council. And they are also beneficiary of this thing who are not from that area. Wherever you have been fortunate to be chosen from, the aim and objective is for you to make use of it and to see that we have enough food in our country.
Speaking in an interview, one of the beneficiaries, Doma Kesta Musa, appreciated the federal government for the support and urged Nigerian youths to embrace farming.
I have a maize farm, a cowpea farm, a sorghum farm. So we just came here to collect input for our farms. So we want to thank the government for giving us these things because, as you know, the country is really difficult now. So with what the government has provided for us, we are very grateful. And with this, it's going to increase our food production.
Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) partner to disseminate NIMET's Seasonal Climate Prediction (SCP) to farmers across the regions and entire Nigeria. NIMET's SCP for 2024 forecasts a normal onset of rains over the northern states. Borno, Abia, and Akwa Ibom states will have early onsets of rains. Rain is predicted to end early in states of Yobe, Jigawa, Sokoto, Kebbi, Kebbi, Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, Taraba, Gombe, Bauchi, Cross River, Ebonyi, Ogun, and Lagos states. While there's a late prediction for cessation of rains in the southern states of Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Ondo, Ekiti, and parts of Edo, Delta, Ogun, Oyo, Kogi, Kwara, FCT, Niger, and Kaduna states. Temperatures are predicted to be warmer than normal in most parts of the country from January to May. Download the full SCP report on www.nimet.gov.ng or contact the State Ministry of Agriculture in your state. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
You are watching Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy of Jigawa State. It contributes more than 60% of the state's GDP and provides livelihood for close to 90% of the state's population. The agricultural potentials of Jigawa State and what the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is doing to harness these potentials for maximum benefit to Nigerians will form the thrust of our next segment, Records of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Do stay tuned.
Located on the northwestern fringes of the country, Jigawa State has a population of more than 7 million people and a landscape of about 22,410 square kilometers. 1.6 million hectares of farmland, representing about 70% of the total landscape of the state, is cultivable during the rainy season, and about 411,000 hectares is cultivable during dry season. Jigawa State is the largest crop-producing state in Nigeria. It is currently Nigeria's largest producer of dates, hibiscus, wheat, sesame, as well as the second largest producer of rice among other crops. The state also holds huge potentials in the production of maize, sorghum, millet, groundnut, beans, sugarcane, tomatoes, among many others. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has since realized the agricultural potentials of the state in both crops and livestock and is doing everything possible to ensure that they are fully realized.
All the potentials in Jigawa State, all the potentials for our production of crop, livestock, and other accessories are available in Jigawa State. They are very much available. The only thing we have, maybe, I can tell you, maybe water. In fact, 50% of Jigawa State is a wetland. Major part of our land is low emission. It's required by all crops. We have a very warm temperature of over 37 degrees centigrade. We have a rainfall of average standard. You understand? So we have a Harmattan period, especially for the wheat production, that could last for every part of it if it's cultivated for the wheat to produce. Now, if exports should be enhanced, and then at the same time, the government should collaborate, and then to mobilize the people, these things are going to be achieved by the grace of God.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is working with state officials in the agricultural sector to really tap in these identified potentials.
Even other investors are coming because we have the potentials. Agro-processing zones were created. You know, Jigawa is one of the leading producers of hibiscus. The state government set up a fumigation center at Megatari recently to see how we can process this hibiscus for export and also sesame. We have all this. Now you come into it. You have seen how we have done. And now when you go to the market, everybody now is busy selling everybody is busy buying. But where our feel is that instead of taking the raw materials from here to other places, we expect them that they should come down to Jigawa. We have the land, we have the potentials, and we have the farmers who are willing to do this so that they can set up how they can process all this, what we produce here.
The recent intervention of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in collaboration with African Development Bank on wheat production is one major federal intervention that has benefited Jigawa State. Through the wheat program, the state cultivated more than 33 hectares of land out of the projected 40,000 hectares. The successes recorded through these interventions are enormous. Production of crops such as rice, maize and onions, among others, has increased as farmers use the proceeds from wheat farming to invest in the farming of several other crops.
Our achievement on wheat makes the farmers to benefit more. Now they go into rice. No complaint. When you go there, you'll see everywhere is green, all over the state. And before you say Gabby is the leading producer of rice, this time, when it comes to the time of the harvest, we will invite the minister to come and see the land itself and how our people perform.
To complement this giant stride of federal government in ensuring food security, Jigawa state government ensures that farmers in the state key into farming activities in both rainy and dry season. This is being achieved through well-defined policies put in place by the state government. It targets the agricultural sector with support to farmers, such as the provision of farm inputs like fertilizer, chemicals, tractors, solar boreholes, and irrigation machines. Farmers concede that these policies and interventions have had significant impact on their farming capacity, thereby resulting in enhanced output.
A yanzu gaskiya noma ya bunƙasa har ga Allah, yanzu muna jin daɗin wannan tallafi. Da muna noma eka 15, a yanzu muna noma eka ta kai 25, kuma cikin yardar Allah muna samun amfani daidai gwargwado don mun fi baya gaskiya.
Tallafin da take bamu wajen harkar ci gaban nomanmu, muna ba da gudunmawa idan ni ne a ƙashin kaina ko in basilan ni kaina zan iya yin noma, to ba zan iya noma abin da zan ci in sayar kuma ba wani ba. Amma da tallafin wannan kayan gwamnati zan iya nomawa na bashi, in biya bashi, kuma in sai da wani, kuma in ci kun amfani da wani a kayan da gwamnati take bamu.
If you are just tuning in, the program is Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, showcasing the agricultural potentials of Jigawa State and the effort of both the federal and state governments in harnessing these potentials to achieve food security for the nation at large. In this segment, Partnership for Development, we shall be looking at how the policy initiatives of the state government is changing the fortunes of young men and women in the state, having been encouraged to take to farming. Keep watching.
Without states contributing their quota, the efforts of Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in boosting agricultural productivity and ensuring food sufficiency may not achieve the desired results. Jigawa State has positively responded to the call of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to utilize its agricultural potentials to cultivate more land, produce large quantity of different varieties, and provide jobs and other opportunities for its citizens and Nigerians at large. Towards this end, the state is making optimum use of all the resources available to it to ensure that citizens of the state are engaged all year round.
One thing we are doing to make optimum use of our land is through investors. We are collaborating with investors, both internal and external investors. You see, we have Mr. Mustali Group, we have Stamwadi Rice Mill, we have Jigawa Rice Mill, Three Brothers Rice Mill. We have a lot of them. So we are collaborating with investors and attracting another, so that to make full utilization of our resources.
Jigawa State runs several programs for the state citizen with the aim of complementing federal government's efforts in ensuring food security in the country. One of such programs undertaken by the state is the Rice Millionaire Initiative, which sets aside 1,000 hectares of land for 1,000 youth from the state. Every youth taking part in the scheme has access to 1 hectare of land to produce rice within a specified period. The state is not stopping at providing the land to these youths, but also supporting them with the inputs they need to farm with ease.
We are taking measures now to ensure sustainability of this program. Number one, like I said, is the type of assistance and the guarantor given to the farmers. Since the federal government provides a subsidy, state government provides a guarantor, out of 360,000 naira, a farmer will pay only 145,000 and later after harvest to pay 135. I think this is enough to attract youth and the farmers.
As a result of these and other programs of the state, rice production has now increased and stands at 1 million metric tons annually. Another strategy adopted by the state to engage more farmers is cluster farming. This allows farmers to operate in groups for ease of identification and to achieve more benefits collectively.
Well, I think
Muhammad Idris Anzumo is a special advisor to the Jigawa State Governor on cluster farming. He speaks on cluster farming and its desired objectives.
The cluster farming is, bringing the farmers closer in the same farm locations, bringing the farmers together to form a group in the same location so that they can have sequence of activities together. They can have an association, they can have planting at the same time, they can fertilize their farm at a time so that the harvesting can also be done at the same time.
To ensure the success of the program, incentives in form of farming inputs like fertilizer and seeds among other inputs were introduced to encourage farmers' participation. People in Jigawa State are really tapping the state's agricultural potentials in all ramifications. This manifests in the level of youth participation in farming during both wet and dry season. This is largely the secret behind the relative peace the state enjoys, because majority of the people of the state are engaged in one farming activity or the other.
And the youth are actually engaged into agriculture. In some places that you find that the youth are, shying away from agriculture because maybe they were not introduced or there were no strategies to incentivize agriculture, to attract the youth into agriculture. And incidentally, the present administration has a strategy, of attracting youth into agriculture to make them understand that farming is a noble profession and actually a dignified business. And this is actually has given us a very good advantage to find that Jigawa State is having an active youth population participating into agriculture. And incidentally, that is what is also giving us a strength to have a relative peace state, whereby most of this active youth population that can be fined into other restiveness are actually engaged into agriculture.
Making agricultural sector a priority is really helping Jigawa State to attain economic stability, as well as improve the welfare of the citizens of the state.
Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) partner to disseminate NIMET's seasonal climate prediction (SCP) to farmers across the regions and entire Nigeria. NIMET's SCP for 2024 forecasts a normal onset of rains over the northern states. Borno, Abia, and Akwa Ibom states will have early onsets of rains. Rain is predicted to end early in states of Yobe, Jigawa, Sokoto, Kebbi, Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, Taraba, Gombe, Bauchi, Cross River, Ebonyi, Ogun, and Lagos states. While there's a late prediction for cessation of rains in the southern states of Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Ondo, Ekiti, and parts of Edo, Delta, Ogun, Oyo, Kogi, Kwara, FCT, Niger, and Kaduna states. Temperatures are predicted to be warmer than normal in most parts of the country from January to May. Download the full SCP report on www.nimet.gov.ng or contact the State Ministry of Agriculture in your state. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
This is where we draw the curtains on tonight's episode, hoping that you have benefited from the package. Meanwhile, keep your fingers crossed and expect another interesting package. Same time, same station next week. Bye for now.